Hello everyone and welcome to another video of mine, this time with Season 1, Episode 2 of Song of the Crimson Nile. A small matter turns into a big problem. Alright then, let's see what's going on inside that woman's mind. I am actually intrigued what they want to find in her mind. Like, she's not dead, but she will be. And they're trying to find something out through her memories, or more like through her dreams. Like, what are they trying to figure out? Episode 2, Dark Night. Warning, this chapter contains description of violence and murder. Alright. Eva crouched next to the sleeping woman's body.
You don't have much time, Evtis. If someone sees us leaving the house too late at night, it might raise some questions.
I understand. Her mentor stepped back and leaned against the entrance to the basement. The owner of the house had remained upstairs so as not to disturb Eva. She looked at Asennath again. Poor girl. She tried to imagine how the young woman lived, what she might have been afraid of, what she dreamed about, who she loved. There's something personal about this. She wasn't killed. She was beaten and then left in the street. Eva took off her mask and leaned over Asennath, getting closer to her face. This was not an accident, but an act of revenge. She pressed her forehead against the woman's and closed her eyes. A wave of warmth swept over her, a mixture of feelings, and her most prominent character traits were reflected on the sleeping woman's face. Asenna's whole life, her whole being united in Ki was a principal aspect of the soul in ancient Egypt. Okay. I was like thinking, why didn't you finish the sentence? Evtis divided into the sea of her soul, deep, dark, full of unexplored corners and thoughts. To get into someone else's dream or to summon someone's soul, you had to establish contact to feel a person. Eva was the best at it. She understood people and looked at the essence, not just the surface. It took her 4 minutes to get to Ki. Then she pulled away. Eva put on her mask again to fill it with the warmth of the soul she'd collected. In the moment, she got lost for a few seconds. Eva looked around. What is that thing in the back? You got into Asennath's dream. The events in it are not real, but they can have consequences in real life. Oh, she was in the same house where Asennath lay sleeping, but in her dream, the house looked brighter and cleaner. The first thing to do was find Asennath. This is her dream. I need to see how she feels here, what her thoughts are. Eva got up to check each room. Only the dreamer could help her find all the answers. Let's go. She heard a female laugh ringing in the house. Eva turned around and saw the owner of the house and his daughter.
Don't get angry. I'll do it properly. So do it instead of just talking about it.
Asennath shone like a bright star in the night sky, and this guy was her gloomy, reserved father. His daughter's radiant smile did not make him look any less severe.
If I find out that you were involved with him, I'll kill you both.
Wow. Damn. Asennath waved him off.
I won't. He's evil. I don't like that kind of person.
He's forbidden her to be with someone, but she looks happy, not like she wants to disagree with him. Eva took a few timid steps toward Asennath. Something creaked under her feet. The dreamer turned around and saw her.
Good afternoon, traveler.
Unusual things seem normal in a dream. It doesn't seem to bother her that I, a stranger, am in her house. Good afternoon. Eva wasn't afraid to stand in front of her without a mask. Asennath wasn't going to remember her face when she woke up.
What can I do for you?
Please tell me, what's your last memory? Are you in love? Oh, we can ask all of the question. How's your relationship with your father? The man's eyes narrowed dangerously. Don't intimidate her. I know how gentle you can be when grieving.
Good, I love him very much.
The old man's expression softened, but he didn't say anything.
Father is strict, but I don't have anyone else.
He's clearly not involved in what happened. Are you in love? Eva shifted her gaze to the father, who was looking at them intently. He'd probably get angry if Asenath mentioned someone he didn't like. That could have been a clue.
No, I'm not.
You aren't? Eva was expecting a different answer.
I've a lot of admirers, but it's not so easy to get my attention.
This changes things. What's your last memory?
My last? That's a difficult question. I think there was a dark alley.
Anything else? Asenath suddenly shook her head.
My head hurts. I was scared. I think I died.
The corners of her mouth turned down. Oh no! The light in the house faded away, as if Ra's sunny gaze had been suddenly covered by a dark veil. Can I just say something? Is it possible that the darkness in this house, like it was bright and now it's dark, is it possible that she had more energy now, and now like life is leaving her? The weaker she grows, as in the closer she becomes to death, the more she becomes weak in that dream? Is that possible? She's scared, so the atmosphere in her dream is changing. No, you're alive, Asenath. Don't be afraid.
I am. Good news. I didn't even remember that until you showed up. What happened to me?
Okay. Yeah, I'm done asking questions. She isn't in love with anyone. Her father is strict but kind. Still, someone attacked her. Maybe I was wrong and this was nothing more than an unfortunate accident? I don't believe in accidents.
Why don't you sit down? Have a cup of beer with us, traveler.
Asenath peered behind Eva. She immediately turned away, quickly grabbing the jug with the drink. Huh? Turning around, Evtus noticed something strange. The house was bright and clean with a pleasant aura of tranquility, but there was a dense, icy, sticky cluster of darkness gathering by the front door. As if alive, it kept Asenath away and guarded the door. The young woman felt happy around her father, but the further away she moved from him and the closer to the door, the colder and heavier the atmosphere became. She's comfortable and calm in the house, but the door and the street fill her with terror. Asenath, how often do you leave the house? Isn't that a rare occurrence?
No, why? I go out every day.
But you're not avoiding the door without a reason, right?
I used to love walking, running errands, visiting my friends, but now my enemy is waiting for me there.
In front of the door, her father perked up, slapping the table.
Don't even think about him.
Huh?
I'm not going to, father. It's beneath me to associate with him.
I would never give my own flesh and blood to someone with such poor and evil hands.
Okay. Continue on shocking me. The young woman flinched, shaking her head.
I know, father. I know everything. I won't get close.
I see. An enemy. Asenath doesn't want to marry him, but he's still stalking her. Her father's absolutely against it. Are you afraid of that person? Your enemy, Asenath. Who is he?
No one, just a neighbor. He raises animals for slaughter. He butchers the meat and delivers it to the Temple of Thoth. When he proposed, he said I'd never go hungry.
A butcher and a priest's daughter? That would be an unusual marriage.
It's not just about the money. He's an evil person. I won't give my daughter to him.
Eva looked at the young woman as if trying to confirm her father's words. Did he do something to you? Asenath sighed, staring into space. She shook her head, looking uncertain.
No, I don't know. I don't remember. But the way he looks at me, it's like I'm an animal, not a human. As if he wants to own me, not to love me, but I forgot about him.
Eva was surprised. She was starting to like the situation less and less. She doesn't remember anything to do with her neighbor. Asenath is pushing him out of her mind. Dreams hold a person's soul and thoughts. If she doesn't want to see him here and doesn't even remember him, there must be a good reason. She rejects him in every possible way and looks so scared. Did your neighbor threaten you?
No, he promised that he wouldn't let anyone else have me. Coming from him, that was enough to be scared.
You found out the reason for Asena's fear. This will help you fulfill your commission. Okay. Eva turned to look at the door. The darkness seemed to be coming from a particular house, not the street itself. It was coming from her neighbor's house. Eva got up and headed straight for the door. Asena will have to point me to a specific person. I won't be able to find out anything by myself.
Where are you going?
I'm going to deal with your neighbor, find the source of your darkness, so that you can live peacefully. See by the door? Asena raised her eyebrows as if she was seeing her house for the first time.
Oh, I didn't even notice it until you showed me.
Of course you didn't. You're dreaming. If I were naked doing a handstand, it wouldn't seem strange to you either. Oh, your home is your reflection, Asenath. Look around. There's darkness pooling in the corners. It weighs upon your key A and drains the strength out of you. If we don't deal with it, even 20 feathers won't be able to outweigh your heart on Osiris scales. You will never see the afterlife.
How do you know all this? Are you a priestess?
No, something worse. Yeah, thank you. But I'm just a person you need to clean up the darkness. Leave the house. Help me, Asenath. Asenath obeyed, heading for the door. A shadow of disbelief crossed her face. She suddenly stopped on the threshold, looking carefully at Eva. Everything around them began to fade again.
I know who you are. You're not a traveler. You're a dark magician. A Sheshmu, right? Father told me about you. I don't remember how I got here. I don't know who you are, but for some reason I'm answering your questions, which can only mean one thing. You're fulfilling a commission as a necromancer. Am I dead?
Wait, calm down. Don't be afraid. You're right, I'm a dark magician, but you're not dead. Don't tell her about the attack. I think this can go either good or bad, depending on a person. She seems like a very confident person, but she also showed that she can get scared very easily. So if we tell her that she was attacked and that she's right now, I would say, in a coma, then she would close off and not want to answer anything. But if we tell her everything, then she would confide in us and tell us about who she might think it is. We need her to pinpoint us. We said that. You know what? I'm gonna tell her everything. Yet. Someone brutally attacked you and your father paid me to find out who did it. Right now you're sleeping and I'm here as an one-year romancer.
I see. One foot is already on the west bank. I'm dying.
You decided to tell the truth. Asenath will remember your answer. Don't think like that. You can survive. But to do that, you need to help me. The woman hesitated.
It's the first time I'm talking to a Sheshmu. I can't believe you're in my dream.
Please don't linger. I can't stay here for long. Show me who's guilty, and I'll figure something out.
You're ready to say anything just to get your money.
Path of cunning. What does this have to do with money? Your father is a priest. I respect those who serve at the Temple of Tooth. He was polite and kind, and his heart is broken because of you. I just want to help. It pains me to see such a respectable man unable to perform his priestly duties and bring good into society because he's worried about his daughter. The darkness that shrouded your dream will eat your key A and won't leave a single scrap behind. Either we find a cure for your troubles, or you will say soon goodbye to your consciousness. Take your pick. Asenath didn't answer, following the dense trail of darkness. She walked slowly as if she was going to her own execution. Not execution!
If that's the case, it must be coming from here. I think the last time I was here was before.
When she reached the corner of the street, she suddenly froze and shook her head desperately.
Before? No.
She wranked her fingers through her hair as her memory came rushing back.
No.
What's the matter? Eva rushed closer. Uh-oh. There it was, the source of Asena's fear. All the darkness pooled at the door leading to this particular home. Was that man that we said has to leave the dog alone? There it got thicker, heavier, tangible and icy, enveloping the whole ground and the house. Black, dirty, reeking of anxiety and panic. Even Eva felt uncomfortable next to that building.
I'm not going in. He's there. He wants to hurt me.
Asenath recoiled. This house, that's where Epi's aiming caught me, yes! Right then I was talking to... Damn it. Echo. I am so good, ladies and gentlemen. Asenath flinched when she heard that name.
Do you know him?
I've heard of him. Such a kind-hearted man.
Are you teasing me?
She huddled closer to Eva as if she wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. Her peaceful dream was turning into a nightmare. He is the cause of your troubles and fears.
For now, as soon as I get married, my husband will defend me.
Did you say this to your neighbor?
I did, and then I don't remember anything.
Now everything makes sense. He said he didn't want anyone else to be with her. And he was serious. Eva realized that it was time for her to leave Asenath's dream. She had found her answer.
I don't remember what he did to me, but it was terrible, painful. I think it was him. I saw the last time before...
A terrifying, deformed figure came out of the house, either a man or a snake. It was as ugly as its ugly nature. Of course.
He's coming for me.
Recoiling, she wrapped her arms around her body. Terrible wounds began to appear on her face, one after the other. Yeah. She's remembering what he did to her and where he hit her. Echo looks scary like a monster. That's how Asenath sees him.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Nuh-uh.
There's no need for your beauty if it's not meant for me.
Oh, hell no.
Come closer. Closer, I said.
Nah.
I'm not done yet. You're still too pretty. They'll be looking at you. That's what you want, right?
Oh, hell no. Oh my god. Let me beat the shit out of this man. But thumbnail. That's a thumbnail. Echo was getting more monstrous by the second, losing his human form. Like the serpent, a pet that sought to destroy the world every night, Echo sought to destroy Asenath in her nightmare. I found out what I wanted. I can leave. Even if he attacks her now, it's just a dream. On the other hand, she's panicking. I don't know how this will affect her recovery. Will she have to relive this moment over and over again? Eva decided to, protect Asenath and punish Echo. She began to look around, trying to find a weapon. In the corner by the fence, there was a dirty, pointy stick. The one he wanted to use to hit us and the dog, by the way. In the corner by the fence, there was a dirty, pointy stick of the kind one would use for loosening the soil. Eva picked it up, holding it like a spear. I am a Shishmu. Our patron is Set, the god of war and death. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty with the blood of a monster like you.
Go away.
No, you won't get her. Not even in a dream. Echo growled, angered by her words. Eva steadied herself, then she swung and threw the stick right into Echo's serpentine body. Yes, die. He had grown too big and was unable to dodge. Asenath just stood there trembling in pain. The tip of the stick pierced the monster and Echo roared in agony. You helped Asenath, she won't forget it. In reality, Echo was cowardly, a miserable man. All he could do was threaten animals and attack defenseless women. But Asenath's fear had turned him into a real monster and the embodiment of evil in her dream. While he was roaring in pain, Eva shoved the girl in the shoulder and screamed, Run, go home. Your father's there, remember? He will save you. Go. He cannot hurt you anymore, girl. Asenath blinked several times as if coming to her senses and then got up and ran. It's time for me to leave. I learned everything I wanted. While Asenath was still nearby, this part of her dream still existed in her mind. Echo was now a danger to Eva.
You're going to pay for this.
No, I'm not. Honestly, mock him. You're so short of money that you're asking me to pay? Woo! You're pathetic. You're barely a man. His eyes flashed red with rage. Everything around began to fade and disappear, and her vision clouded. I'm going back. I'm done here. Like, what you gonna do to me? You left Asenath's dream.
You took a long time. It's been half an hour.
The Manta was standing close, helping Eva to get to her feet. She hadn't fully recovered from the dream yet. That was the most unpleasant thing about neuromancy. At first, you felt disoriented and didn't understand where you were. I'm used to this. I even liked the intricacy of it. You have to be subtle and find the right approach for each person. Sloppy work won't do. There's something creative about it, almost as if I'm a poet or a magician or a musician. Only my craft is not playing the harp or a flute, but people's dreams and their fears. Ooh, neuromancy, yes.
Did you find out anything?
Yes.
Things didn't go as planned. Asenath was twitching in her dream.
She's gonna be fine. Asenath's father came toward their voices. He was so different from how Asenath remembered him. In her dream he was strong, courageous, and a little strict, but behind it all was fatherly love and protection. In reality he looked exhausted and haggard. His daughter's state made him die inside.
How is she? What did she do? What did she say? Who's responsible for this?
Money first. You know what? Look at Ramo. I feel uneasy saying out loud that I'm waiting for payment. I'll let Ramo tell him. Her mentor caught her eye and said calmly,
We require the money first. Oh yes, right.
He tossed him some coins and Ramo put them in a special pocket in his cloak. As long as Sheshmu wasn't touching their mask, it was just a plate, just like their cloak was just fabric. This was done so that a dark magician could get rid of their belongings at any time and not get caught by hunters. It was only the secret pocket where the Sheshmu hid their money that could give away one person's affiliation with dark magic. Affiliation with dark magic.
Now tell me.
It was your neighbor, Echo. The old man's face changed. There was no longer any trace of sadness in his eyes.
That bastard.
He rushed to the door as fast as his age allowed him. The mentor tried to stop him, to calm him down, but with no luck. Rimao and Eva caught up to him near Echo's house.
Where are you going? You'll attract attention. What will you tell them? The dark magicians whispered his name in your ear. What else should I do? This beast, my Asenath.
You leave us out of this. If you tell him you're doing deals with the Sheshmu, you won't be the only one in trouble. He'll get away with it, though. The Pharaoh's hunters are walking all over Hermopolis. They won't care to find out who's right or wrong. Is that what you want? The man stared at Eva.
I can hear from your voice that you're young, yet you talk as if you've lived for half a century.
People don't become dark magicians because they had a good life.
But what am I supposed to do then? Leave this monster unpunished?
I protect Asenath from him in her dreams, but you can't change reality.
Protect it.
She's terrified of him. That's why he tried to attack her again and again in her dream. I stopped it.
My poor child, thank you.
Asenath's father will treat you well in the future. Aww. I couldn't, let's be honest, I couldn't just stand there like, what?
Don't worry, there are many ways to make him pay.
That. Let's browse some kind of potion. The commotion didn't go unnoticed. Lights came on in the house and Echo walked out holding a candle in his hand. Let's murder him real quick.
What's all this in front of my invisible god?
Invisible god is what ancient Egyptians called the god Ra. Echo saw the two dark magicians and his neighbor. At first he was frightened, still half asleep, but then the pieces fell into place.
You, what are you doing here? The hunters are very close. I saw them today. Go away. And you go away too. Badru, why are you with them?
The man didn't hold back. Murder him.
Shut up. Shut your rotten mouth. I swear you'll pay for what you've done.
Ramal pulled Eva's sleeve, signaling that it was time to run. The situation was getting out of control and they couldn't afford to attract a lot of attention. They silently parted ways, hiding in the darkness of the streets. Then they quickly reunited on a different corner. Honestly, may as well murder him, sir. What happened there? Hiding, they began to whisper.
The old man cannot overcome his grief.
Did he pay for everything? Can we go?
Yes, he paid, but I don't really feel safe. The upstate saw our faces. If they capture the old man and find out he got help by Sheshmu,
he won't give us away.
His neighbor will. If old Badru is executed, he won't be able to tell anyone about what Aku did to his daughter.
Do you want to go back?
I'm afraid I'm not done here yet, but you'd better go.
I want to come with you. I need to know what to do if something similar happens to me in the future. Ramau nodded. His black eyes disappeared within the slits of the mask.
That's fair. Be quiet then.
They silently returned to Echo's house. Let's go. Murder him together. Let's go. At first they tried to remain unnoticed. What if the noise brought out more neighbors? But the men kept fighting, obviously, to everything around them. Oblivious to everything around them.
I know everything. It's you beast, who hurt my Senhath. We need to silence them and deal with this quickly.
Eva turned around, weary, and then stepped out of the shadows. Let's murder him. Since it's my commission, I should be the one to sort this out. Intimidate Echo. Shut up, both of you. You know what? Intimidate Echo. Don't worry about his fate, kind Echo. You'd better feel this. Dad, for such an offense, they'll cut off your arms and throw you into the Niles. As crocodile snack, yes. Yes. Yes.
Shut up. You should be counting the hours before your death.
You actually believe I'm gonna let you live? Echo hissed angrily.
Me, I didn't lay a finger on her. What makes you think it was me? Did you hire these lousy necromancers? You'd better bury Anath properly instead of fooling around.
Eva and Rommel looked at each other thoughtfully. If you have nothing to do with it, what makes you think she's dead? You tried very hard to finish her off, didn't you? That.
You're messing with me.
Eva smirked. Dad, let's go. You told her that if she didn't marry you, you wouldn't let anyone else have her. This is the first time I've seen such an entitled butcher. They won't like that at the temple. Love it.
What did you tell her? Never. Never.
You knew about Echo's threat, so you could use it against him. Let's go.
I didn't mean it.
Of course you meant it. Badu's eyes turned red with anger. Echo recoiled towards the door. Where do you think you're going? He knew he could denounce them to the hunters, but not until morning. Right then, at that very moment, his life was in danger. Danger in the shape of a father who'd been grieving for his dying daughter. A father who loved her so much that he would offer his own life in exchange for hers. Or take someone else's, yes.
I'll kill you, you monster. Badru, this is a mistake. Don't burden your heart. If you're charged with murder, who's going to take care of a Zenith?
At least you got what you deserve, Ramal said calmly.
It's time to put an end to this performance while we're still lacking an audience.
Echo will pay dearly. Let him pay. Let him die. Ramal pulled Eva toward him and hissed.
You're out of line.
Eva glared at her mentor through the slits of her mask. For a moment, it seemed as if the god said himself was baring his teeth. He's a dead man anyway.
Don't judge. It will weigh against you in the afterlife.
Someone like him doesn't deserve to be alive at all.
What do I hear? Sympathy? We got the money. What else do you want?
He's nasty. He was the man who wanted to hurt the animal. It's because of him that we run into the hunters. You shouldn't have seen what Aneth was like in her dream. You should have seen what the net was like in her dream. Even if she wakes up, she'll lose her mind. All the corners of her dream are filled with fear. Where Mao and Eva were whispering, the men had decided to handle it themselves. Badru rushed to Akko to take him down, but Akko managed to grab a stick from the ground and hit the old man on the head. Hell no! The old man fell to his hands and knees. Akko decided that it was his chance to escape. We need to get rid of him somehow. At this point, otherwise he'll flee and suffer, and everyone will suffer. We'd better catch him first and decide on the punishment later. Ramau agreed not to rush. She didn't like hasty decisions and unnecessary cruelty. Ramau will use his cunning to deal with Akko. This will affect the plot. Akko had no chance to escape. Ramau was taller and stronger than him. He deftly intercepted the running man and in a couple of moments knocked him to the ground.
Let me go, you vile Sheshmu.
By the time Badru had recovered and hobbled over to Ramau, it was the first time Eva had seen something like that happen while fulfilling a commission. Usually, everything was much easier and predictable.
Leave. Go, quickly.
What about you?
I'll deal with this. You'll only get in my way. Get rid of your clothes and go back to the temple. I want you out of here in a minute. Here, take your share.
The mentor handed Eva her money and then seemed to lose all interest in her, turning to Badru. Are you going to finish him off? Ramau didn't reply. Eva was confused. Here it was the cruelty of the Sheshmu everyone was talking about, the dark side of the work. She'd heard about it before, but she'd never seen it, and now she felt horrified. We're not in a dream, but in real life. Ramau is going to kill a man with his own hands? Eva took a few steps back, then turned around and disappeared in the darkness of the night. When Eva entered the room she shared with Dia, her friend was already sleeping. She crept to her bed, collapsed on it, and wrapped herself in the light sheets. Evtis wasn't particularly keen on the influence that the Macedonian Empire had on Egypt after the invasion a few years earlier. However, soft beds, pillows, and cotton sheets imported from there were not included in their list of grievances. She was afraid that after all she had seen she wouldn't be able to fall asleep, and she was even more afraid to have another dream where Anubis would talk to her again. Her mind was buzzing with events of the day. The bruises on Asena's skin, the warmth of her soul, and the icy grip of her fears. Did Ramau really go through with it? Did anyone hear him? Eva got lost in her thoughts and memories. They weighed heavily on her eyelids, and soon she fell asleep. The following morning, Dia woke her up hungry for detail. She suggested they walk around the market before their lessons started and buy something since Eva had earned some money. She saved most of it. As taught by the poverty of her childhood, Eva always tried to have savings. The more the better. However, she also loved spending money on herself, so she agreed. Same. In one of the first stalls, she found something that attracted her attention. Okay. I'm gonna go with this. Why not? Keep this. Dia then suggested that Eva should do something about her hair, and she had hardly combed it after waking up. A local merchant laid out the best jewelry that could be used for hairstyles. While laying out her wares, she exchanged news with another customer. Shock me.
If so, they'll get caught like rats in a trap. Nonsense. Why all this fuss? The father beat up the guy for hurting his daughter. What's the big deal? She's dying and he's responsible. No wonder there was a fight. Even if she saw it happen in front of her eyes, you'd still not believe it, huh? Hunters will come investigate, and we'll see who's right. I bet you 3 coins that it was just a domestic squabble.
What are they gossiping about? About yesterday?
Don't get distracted.
My apologies. like this. I love locks. Keep this.
Not bad, but there's something missing.
What?
I can see from your eyes that you were out and about all night. Let's add some color to your face.
Oh, makeup? Let's go. Ooh. Huh. You know what? This. It suits the outfit. It has a little bit of gold. Keep this one. Once they had enough of shopping, they slowly headed back to the temple. Along the way, Eva told Dia what happened the previous night, leaving out the part about Echo's fate. Uh-oh.
It's bad. I don't like the fact that the apostates caught you right in that alley. His instinct.
He has no instinct. He thought I was a prostitute. Dad.
Are you kidding me? Didn't you hear what the vendor said?
I did. The whole of Hermopolis must be gossiping about this. Many had indeed discussed the noise and the commotion heard the previous night at the intersection of those alleys. Some even described a pool of blood at the entrance to a local man's house. You heard Akko in the dream and he got sick in reality. Yes. I'd rather hear about some random gossip than the invasion. I'm getting a headache from all this. Since Alexander the Great had invaded Egypt, a lot had changed in the country. From minor things like everyday items to something as major as the law. Some agreed and rejoiced at the changes, while others rejected everything new as alien. Far from the world of politics, Eva was not interested in this, but there was no way to escape this topic everywhere she went.
You shouldn't talk like that. After all, it concerns all of us. You can't just turn your nose about it.
Yes, of course you can.
It has already affected us. Our ancestors practiced magic without fear, but we...
They kept talking as they walked back to the temple. Honestly, I feel bad for her. Several days passed. Eva had already forgotten all about the hunters, Badru and Akko, and even the unfortunate Aseneth. She even almost managed to get that dream out of her head. I hope that she survives.
Eva.
Her best friend appeared at her side. What are you so happy about? Ishman slung his arm over her shoulder and answered,
Haven't you heard? The hunters are visiting our temple today.
Ah, great. What for?
They're looking for healers to serve with them. They're leaving for Tibet soon.
Eva stared at him pointedly and frowned. I recognize that expression. Do you really want to go?
I'd like to. I'm bored of spending endless days fixing old men's joints and rubbing baby bellies with ointments.
I mean, being right where people die won't be boring for sure. You're leaving me alone. Get the idea out of your head. Being right where people die won't be boring for sure. Must definitely be more fun to look at the cursed and sick passing out in front of your eyes.
There you go again. Please be nicer.
Nicer about what? About your desire to go to a place that anyone should flee from instead?
I'm not a child. I need practice. If the Supreme Apostates notice my work, maybe I'll go to Memphis. Can you imagine how prestigious it would be to treat the Pharaoh's people? Or even the Pharaoh himself? I need to grow and learn, Eva. Where there is unrest, there is also a lot of work.
And what are the chances of you not coming back alive? Eva awkwardly tried to hide her fear for her friend under the disguise of discontent.
I'll be fine.
He pressed her to his side a little tighter. Only Ishman could call her that, combining her first name with her second secret one. No one usually knew your second or third name in Egypt, except you and your mother. After all, knowing someone's full name gives power over a person, including the power to curse you. When Ishman's parents took Eva in, she and Ishman became very close. As an older brother would, he got her out of every mess she got into. One night, when they were still very young, they revealed their full names to each other. Since then, it was like they truly had become related. Aww.
My mother told me not to tell. But if you can curse someone, maybe you can also have good things happen to them too.
Eva was sitting on the floor frowning. Some boys had been kicking her because of her big mouth and impertinence, but Eastman had found her in time and helped. He could count on a good amount of respect among them, and he forbade them to touch that unfriendly, skinny, smart-mouthed girl. Oh, you're truly one of a kind. I wouldn't have thought of that. You can curse someone, that's normal, but you're thinking about wishing for good things instead.
Look at you, you look like a frog.
Why? Be nice. Eva was growing quickly. Her arms and legs were too long for her age, and she was underweight, so Eastman thought she looked like a frog. As years went by, she grew into a tall young woman, and her figure was admired by all those who used to get into arguments with her. And of course, they would all get smacked by her protective, self-appointed older brother. Love it!
I look at you and my heart fills with pity. How can I not want something good to happen to you?
You're annoying. You're naive. Nothing good will come from your positive attitude.
Look, you're being pessimistic again. We're like two faces of the same coin.
Not two faces of the same coin.
I'll tell you my full name and you tell me yours. I'll ask the gods to protect you, and you ask them to protect me.
Eastman gave Eva a brotherly pat on the head, looking into her angry bright eyes. He was just trying to calm her down, but he had no idea how much those words meant to her. Oh. Like a wild cat, she found herself trusting an outstretched human hand for the very first time, and suddenly she did something she hadn't done for a long time since her mother left her. She smiled. Fine, so be it. I'll ask the invisible God to help you get a little smarter. And stop being so kind to everyone, except for me. Eastman laughed. Aww. Cute. Eva was ready to shield Eastman from the hit of a blade and die in his place, and he would have done the same for her. That's why she was so angry that the closest person to her was rushing right into the thick of a catastrophe. Are you doing this out of spite? It always bothered you that I became a Sheshmu. You're always asking me to be careful, and you're angry because every commission could end badly. Are you trying to drive me mad in retaliation? Eastman sighed wearily. Cunning.
Calm down, Em. I won't be going there alone. By the way, I haven't a friend.
Oh, thank you.
A beautiful black dog, or maybe it's not a dog, I'm not sure.
Where did he come from?
I don't know, he came to the man's wing. We found him, fed him, and now he lives nearby.
There are so many black dogs out there. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the one that we had, like the one we saved. And what will you do with your animal when you leave?
I'll give it to you.
You've got all this worked out, don't you? No, look after it yourself and don't go anywhere. They entered the refectory where Eva wanted to find her friends and go to class together. She cares deeply. This is so cute. In the hall, they met Dia and Ramesses, who were whispering anxiously. When she saw Eastman, Dia fell silent and looked away. Ramesses called out to his friends.
Have you seen them?
Who?
The hunters. Who else? I heard that they were supposed to visit our temple, but don't know when.
Right now, not just anyone, but the apostates. Are we gonna see them again? Eva stared at the opposite end of the refectory. The hunters entered one by one, looking around the hall. Thank you. Thank you for reading my mind. I was just about to say, and where is my baby? There he is. He is fine. Fine. She looked away quickly, hiding her face. Ramesses whispered right in her ear, poking her waist.
What's the matter with you, Evtis? Are you shy?
Yes, this man is making me flustered. Shut up. Are you enjoying this?
Where did all your backbone go?
He's way too fine. I can't have a backbone with such a fine man. I'm getting ready to hit you with it. Ooh! Yes. Yes.
Hey, what do you think I'm shielding you? What do you think I'm shielding you?
That's what friends do. To annoy me, nah. That's what friends do. This is such a lovely friendship. This reminds me of Killian, Lima, and Amala. Their friendship was so unique. I love a friendship like this. That's real love. Real love between people. Trying to hide me from the epistates, right?
Finally, you speak nicely instead of trying to get into a fight.
How do you even know he saw my face?
Dear can't keep her mouth shut.
I knew it. It's a good thing I didn't tell her everything. Akko's fate must remain a secret.
Stop being like that. I'm just trying to be helpful.
It's not about you, Ramesses. Then you tried to challenge me from the first day we met.
You took up necromancy so zealously that I saw you as a competition. I could have guessed that it was going to take you this long to choose a path.
Eva pulled away, irritably jerking her shoulder away. Damn you. You and Ramesses are friends. You appreciated his help. We love the friendship. It's so pure. Eva wanted to turn to her friends and say something, but they all suddenly fell silent. Is he behind me? I love this. This is also a story that just knows my thoughts. Like, I imagine what I would like to happen and it happens. Love this. Oh, I love this. This reminds me of Kali Call of Darkness. I was capable to predict everything. Love this. As she was taking a step toward them, she almost bumped into Eamon. Sir, are you that obsessed with me already? Isman met her gaze and nodded, urging her to say something.
Silly, don't make that face.
What? What are the chances? What brings you here? Epistate. Honestly, out of spite, I would have to go with epistates. But you know what? I'm a person that loves to tease, especially if I have feelings for someone, or much more, I am interested in someone, so I would like to tease. What are the chances? Am I in the wrong place again? Love this. Oh, I love this. Good thing that I can just predict everything, because sometimes you can't really tell if it's ironic or not, but this was actually hilarious. Yes.
Come with me.
I'm sorry. You want me to come with you? Why? Eamon took a few steps to the side, waiting for Eva to follow him. Honestly, I would have to say don't budge, because why would I want to go with you? Like, you could murder me instantly and I don't have a death wish. But I have the feeling if we don't budge and stay where we are, it would be hella suspicious, especially after he saw us last night in the dark, and then all this drama happened with Akko, so I think it would be suspicious, so she followed him, I'd say. Being impertinent or defying him was the last thing on Eva's mind. She had no idea what he wanted, but before panicking, it was worth finding out. Was it though? As soon as they left, he went straight to the point.
You really are learning to write?
The epistates looked at Eva appraisingly. He noticed her expensive clothes and jewelry.
I didn't recognize you right away. Now you look like someone who's studying.
Thank you. I wouldn't lie. Lies.
I need your mentor.
Why do you need my mentor? Remao?
What were you doing in the alley?
See, didn't I just say I am so good? It was because of my apprenticeship. Apprenticeship, girl. Walking around in alleys is part of your apprenticeship. This is so sus.
I haven't heard an answer.
I can help you find him, but I won't say anything. He tilted his head slightly, narrowing his eyes at her.
Why? Are you afraid?
More suspicious than anything. Why do you need my mentor? Eva was wise enough to keep silent. Eamon grinned.
You seemed more talkative last time.
Oh, my apologies that I'm not swinging you the right way today. I'm not as clever as my mentor. Why would I try to have a conversation with the epistates? Oh, that's a smart answer.
Lead me to him.
No. Before leaving the refectory, Eva looked back at her friends. Eastman gestured that he would see her later. She was walking first, with Eamon following her. His heavy, slow steps made her heart skip a beat. She often bragged about being calm and collected, but next to Eamon, all her confidence disappeared. She was smart enough to understand that playing around would get her into trouble. Good. I'm scared. Even when he's silent, why be a hunter when his calling is clearly to be an executioner? Oh, wow. Yes. Him saying, yeah, arrest her is literally a death sentence for you. Like, I would be horrified. I would be petrified. I wouldn't even know what to say. I couldn't think clearly. Must be a joke of the gods to have such a strange and scary appearance given his nature and occupation. Why did I make a bet with the Eastman? I want to bang my head against the wall. I didn't expect that he would be so huge and intimidating. I feel like even just attempting to tease him would end up with him killing me with one hand. See what I mean? Oh my god. It's the power. The power he has is intimidating. Eva reached the corner of another corridor. She waved her hand. That's the head priest's room. Remao isn't here.
Is he the head priest?
No, he's covering for him. The head priest went to Thebes. The apostates looked at her and went quiet for a moment.
What's your name?
Why do you want to know? If I give him my name, we might keep talking. I could keep silent and let Ramiro decide what to say and what to hold back. Evitus? Honestly, out of spite, I would have to go with ask my mentor. But you know what? I'm gonna say my name. Evitus.
Evtus.
Eamon seemed to be savoring the taste of the word on his lips. Then he said thoughtfully,
Evtus, are you going to study herbal medicine?
Why? I haven't decided yet. Maybe.
Giver of life. There must have been a reason if your mother gave you that name.
Giver of life is what her name means? Wow, that's a beautiful meaning. If you only knew my mother and my second name, Soldier. Ooh! My mother didn't name me. My father did.
Since you're your father's pride and joy, why were you wandering the alleys?
Alright, he thinks our father is he. Yeah. He thinks that our mentor is our father. I haven't been anybody's pride and joy for a long time. I'm on my own, and I wasn't wandering but following my mentor.
An orphan. If you have no parents, who sent you here to study?
I came on my own. You don't have to be very clever to understand the value of education. That was a good clapback. Eamon pursed his lips and looked away. It was impossible to know what he was thinking at that moment. He just doesn't like people talking back at him at this point, I think. That made Eva feel uncomfortable, as she was usually able to read people well.
At first I thought you were a vagabond. Oh! But look at you now.
I made it very clear that I wasn't a prostitute. This entire situation. He frowned slightly as if the sound of the last word was unpleasant. He shook his head, murmuring quietly,
This changes everything.
Eamon will remember your conversation. Interactions such as this one improve the relationship between their characters, yeah. He took one last look at Eva and then went in the direction she'd pointed. Once the apostate was out of sight, Eva slipped into the man's wing. Eastman's room was only a few feet away when she almost got knocked down. Huh? A huge black dog swept past her, brushing Eva's side. Aww. You. Have you come to add to my troubles? Stop. Eastman ran out of his room and Eva pointed at the dog. Is that yours?
Yes, I told you about him.
Maybe all dogs look similar, but I swear this is the same poor dog. Aww. You can't mistake those eyes. The dog nuzzled Eastman's hand and the young man began scratching his ear.
Look how nice he is.
How are you going to take care of him?
I'll clearly need some time.
I'll clearly need some help. Don't even look at me. She says, don't even look at me.
By taking care of this animal here, you will take care of the well-being of your key A in the afterlife.
How opportunistic of you.
No, I just like animals, but that's the only way to persuade you.
You've only made it worse.
Come on, look at those eyes.
Aw, come on. Aw. As if sensing that his fate was being decided, the dog wagged his tail and looked at Eva. Why would we need this hairless creature? Aww. Coming up to Eva, the dog sat down next to her and looked up. Disarmingly, his gaze was intelligent like a human's. Perhaps it is a human. Having a pet will affect the plot sometimes significantly, yes? Let's keep him. We're gonna keep him. I saved him once. I'm not gonna let him wander around the streets by himself. I'm gonna keep him. I'm sure we'll find a use for him.
A use? Stop looking for profit and everything. He's meant to be loved, and I have enough love for everyone.
Eastman is such a sweetheart. Eva kneeled down and petted the dog's smooth, shiny skin. The dog lolled out his tongue. Aww. We need to give him a name. Let it be... His name is gonna be Orion. The dog yawned contentedly.
Well, Orion, are you staying?
You and Eastman tamed the dog. Now he's your pet. Yay! Orion turned around as if answering his question and walked to the archway that led to Eastman's room. What will you tell the mentors?
I'll figure it out later. Besides, keeping a dog is a good thing.
Two male voices echoed from the end of the corridor. More soldiers. Eva recognized them as Eamon and Rimao. No! The episode spoke calmly while Rimao's voice was tinged with anxiety.
Is that Rimao?
My child! Let's go. Eva and Eastman resolutely walked toward them.
What's that supposed to mean?
He's so fine.
Practice, nothing more. If it weren't, the first thing I would have done would have been to flee the city. That's a poor argument. He's a former priest, and I, as a substitute head priest, needed his wise advice. Why would you bring your apprentice with you? Ho ho! She's an orphan. I'm trying to keep an eye on her, lest she gets in trouble. She got into the temple due to her own skills. That's rare. It would be a shame if she got kicked out.
What does he want from me? The mentor and the apostates noticed the two people staring at them, turning in their direction at the same time.
Evts, Eastman, what are you doing here?
Rimao's gaze flickered with discontent. He was trying to show them that was a bad time. Eamon glanced at Eva first, but his gaze lingered on Eastman.
Don't send them away. Both interest me.
Oh, hell no. Is this supposed to be him trying to figure out what we could do for him because he wants to recruit both of us? Oh, Especially with that grin. Sir, you ain't slick.
Interest you?
Yes.
Are you a healer? I'm studying to become one.
Yes.
I saw your name on the application. Are you looking for practice?
Eastman's eyes lit up with interest.
I am.
Eamon lifted his chin slightly, appraising the young man with his gaze. He nodded curtly, then added,
We also need scribes to keep records on how we're dealing with the disease.
Oh, because he said that we can write, so we're supposed to go there as someone that... Yeah, he wants us to hold protocol. Okay, I understood.
If you have been honest with us, Mentor, surely you'll be happy to volunteer them. As you said.
This is actually as if he would give us into the lion's den. He would actually... This is actually him having to give us up. This is him having to let us walk into a lion's den. Like, this is only gonna explode in our faces.
Certainly, but only under my supervision. They are still learning. But there are other young healers and scribes, and that's decided.
He said he wants us both. I am done.
That's decided, but they are not enough. I need more people. I'll come back and we'll discuss the terms and who'll take.
Biting a curt goodbye, Eamon strode off. Silence fell. Oh, this is not good. Eva looked anxiously at Remao. What did he want? You heard what he wanted.
He came to interrogate me. Everyone knows what happened the other night.
Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that? I literally said that. People, I am so good. I am so good. He saw us the other night. Then everyone in that godforsaken town was talking about what happened to EXO. And then he came there and he wanted to question us, technically. He saw that we were with him, and probably he knew that he wasn't gonna get anything out of us, so he was like, I'm gonna interrogate him. And if we wouldn't have went with him in the first place, it would have been suspicious because he saw us that night. And that would have been worse for us. I am done, people. I am weak. How come I'm so good?
The neighbors complained of shouting and arguing at Akko's house. They didn't see anything out of the window because they were afraid to go out, but they told everyone. Everyone in the city heard that the man providing meat to the Temple of Thoth had been accused of theft, and he already beaten up and waiting for his death couldn't even speak.
His death?
He was executed.
Nice.
There was no point in getting my hands dirty. I chose a more subtle approach. The hunters remembered us from that night and pieced it all together.
Yeah. Thank you. I know I'm good. I love this. I'm good.
The apostates came to question me. He was dancing around the topic but did not openly accuse us of being Sheshimu. He asked what I taught, what my background is, and where I found all of you.
And you?
I said that I've always stood with the authorities and offered to prove my word by volunteering to help, to prove the purity of my thoughts.
Right, because apparently he can purify. Or, I don't know, wasn't there something, didn't he say that he can purify things? Or in general, that he purifies? What?
Otherwise he would have left me alone. Otherwise he wouldn't have left me alone. And soon he would have caught me.
Remao waved it off, looking downcast. He wanted to bluff, but the hunter turned everything to his advantage.
Apostate Simon is free to choose those who will go with him. Don't get in his way if you don't want him to include you in the squad headed to Thebes.
I think we already caught his interest at this point. Eva felt petrified at the idea that she was very likely to go to Thebes. Eamon remembered her well and even suspected her. Didn't I just say, I am so good? That's it. This is the end. To go there in company of a hunter. I was joking about going to Thebes. I wasn't serious. What am I going to do? How am I going to survive? Besides the hunters, another threat was waiting. The disease. I am so done. I am so weak. So yeah, I think... Yeah. I played with fire and I got burned. It had to happen at some point. I mean, if I keep on playing with fire. Yeah. Next episode is gonna be interesting. I think that we're gonna be part of that task force that has to accompany him. That's gonna be interesting. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.